I know the story well. I'm just asking.
I'm telling you my take on it.
Yeah. But if you don't see a problem, that's okay. I'll move on. I'll move on.
I saw another problem.
Yes.
That he was hungry.
And what was the solution to that problem?
He went to the mountain
And
he ate. Or he looked at several different places where he failed, but eventually went all the way to the mountain where he ate.
yes, sir.
My problem is whether he was the boy or the raven.
What's your problem?
And then in the end, there was no solution. Because we don't know whether he was a boy or a raven.
No problem.
Why we are here?
I thought I saw something in your eyes.
I'm not sure, but my problem was when you broke with the reality, was the transformation of the boy in a raven. Like for me, that was a problem at that time.
So are you looking at as your own problem that
No,
you have?
not my own problem,
Right.
but the problem of the story. Like,
In the bank, he became a raven himself as a problem.
You think what's that, Chip?
Or the boy became a raven himself
Yeah.
as a problem.
Is a problem? Yeah. I would say, considering what happened to him when he was a raven, let's solve that problem.
Just sitting on the trapped lamb and trying to mimic the boy's sound and became back to a boy again.
Yes.
So I see the problem is personality issue. He's he wants to imitate somebody else, and at the end he becomes
Psychology
I
class.
don't have to imitate somebody else. I'm myself. That's the solution. I'm not sure.
So let me point something out to you all, which is fairly interesting. When I was a child, 11 years of age, I had a teacher, and she had us read stories and books, and we always had to write. And we had to write what she called it conflict and resolution was. I would turn in my paper to her, and I would always get the paper back, seemed a lot later, a week or so, and she would say, sometimes she would say, oh, you did very good, Brett, you got an A, good job. But sometimes she would say, oh, no, you got it wrong, that's too bad. And it would be a big F on it. And I wondered as a child, how does she know what the conflict and resolution was? How does she know? And I wondered, so as a kid, did she talk to the author? But one of the stories we read was a story by an author named Edgar Allan Poe. And he died in the year 1843 or something like that. So he'd been dead so long, I knew she'd not asked him. So as I got older, I began to realize that really she didn't know. Even though she was the teacher, she didn't know. I have done this exercise with a room full of English teachers, university level, and watched them kind of do what you guys did. A little bit, no, it's this, no, it's that. And I'm thinking, how can you argue about this when you give tests to people? And in your test, if they don't get it right, they fail, right? Or these big state tests and so on that people take that some test maker makes somewhere and says, well, this is the answer, this is the conflict, but they don't know. This is a story of mine. It's a story I wrote. I'm not going to tell you what it was for me. And sometimes an author will write something and they're not even thinking of that. They're just writing a story. They don't think about that at all. So, but what this does is it gives you a framework for you to frame your story. For you to look how you look at it. Because if it doesn't have these elements, it's not a story. Okay? One day, man woke up, yawned, went out, started his car, and he went to work. Got to the office. He did his work. When it was time to go home, he drove home. Went inside, ate his dinner, and went to sleep.
It's a postmodern story.
It's not a story. It's not what anybody
life.
would think is a story because
It's no problem.
it doesn't have this in it.
Problem, yeah.
That's life.
Nobody's interested in it. Nobody's interested. Occasionally, you'll meet a person who talks to you and things like that. They're telling you things, and you're listening, and you begin to realize they're not telling something part of the story. And those are the people you want to avoid them. I mean, you do. I mean, I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just saying that there are people like that, and since there's no story, we're not interested.
Stay away from
Half that Facebook uses.
What's that?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it really begs the question of how useful is the medium?
Had lunch today.
Yeah. Or other things that nobody cares about.
Ouch.
All right.
Break.
So, when you do something like this, if you're a visual learner, you're probably going to want to draw a picture that reminds you of the story. That picture reminds me of the story. You're about to get hit with that ball, carrying that sandwich. I don't need to do this when I create stories, because I'm not a visual learner at all. So I don't do that. But if you are, you might want to do that. I'm going to ask you to tell me what kind of animal you would choose to create a story about if you were going to pick an animal. Any kind of animal. It could be one that flies, swims, crawls, runs, swims.
Come.
What's that?
Camel.
Camel.
Yeah, a camel. What else?
Story يعني ايش قاعد يقول؟ Which animal do you
And?
want to say a story about?
Donkey?
Dolphin.
Dolphin. Blue whale. I heard deer.
Mammoth.
Mammoth, did I hear?
Yeah.
Dragon.
Dragon.
Do you mean the Komodo dragon?
No.
The fire-breathing one.
Okay.
Crocodile.
Cockroach.
We heard others. I'll just leave it at that. That's good for now. Tell me, what kind of problem could an animal have?
Extinction.
What causes it to become extinct?
Humans.
And what
Hunting.
Hunting, okay. So I would put that hunting is the problem, extinction, solution, although you can kind of go the other way. But I think it works a little better like this.
That's
One.
Yeah, that's the result.
Yep, it is a result, isn't it? Yeah. And solutions are not always happy. They're just not. But any sort of book, story, television, movie you see has things happen. Sometimes they're just not happy, and that's the end. So, what's a different solution for the problem of hunting? What's one other possible solution for that?
Control.
I'm sorry?
Control.
And what do you mean by controlled hunting?
Like
Yeah.
control